Hi, I'm Executive Chef Javier Melendez. I work at the Beechwood in Troy, New York. I want to welcome you guys to the virtual culinary exploration, and we're going to talk about a little bit about a superfood that we're going to highlight today. That's going to be pumpkin. That we're going to do a little bit of sweet, savory, salty. Let's cook. Pumpkin is a superfood that we're going to be introducing for the month. On top of the pumpkin, we're going to use some of the spices. We're going to use some cinnamon, allspice, ginger, clove, brown sugar, some maple syrups, a little bit of water. We're going to make a pumpkin butter that is going to be a dish that is going to create this whole blend of foods all together with all these nice spices to remind you of maybe of a pumpkin pie, but instead of all those ingredients, we're going to make it lighter, and you can use it for toast. We can incorporate it with other dishes. First, we're going to start with the pumpkin butter, and we're going to move on with pumpkin butter from the beginning. So I'm going to take a little bit of my water and my maple syrup. We're going to add the water first, and I'm going to start incorporating some of the spices. Some of the cinnamon, allspice, ginger, clove, brown sugar, we're going to blend those in that water so they start boiling. Add some of the maple syrup. Then we're going to add our main ingredient, which is the pumpkin. We want that pumpkin to start caramelizing with the seasonings. So therefore you get that nice natural sugars to come out too. We're going to add a little bit more pumpkin. Once it starts coming to a boil, you want to turn it down and simmer it for at least 5 minutes in a slow simmer. You want those flavors to incorporate with each other and blend pretty well together. And it's going to start looking like this. You want a nice consistent paste to it. You want to reduce the heat so some of that water comes out, so we can concentrate that flavor of the cinnamon, the ginger, the brown sugar to melt the sugar. As it starts getting, the water evaporates, you're going to get this beautiful, beautiful paste of pumpkin. For an added bonus, we're going to add some pecans to the butter to give you a little texture to it. Gives you that nutty flavor. To the dish. It already smells wonderful. So you want to cook that down and let it reduce for about 5 minutes, like I said before. Once the water starts to completely evaporate, it's going to start sticking to the bottom. So you got to keep constantly stirring it so you don't burn it to the bottom of the pot or pan or whatever you want to use. So right now, if you look at it, it's getting a little bit more pastier. The color of the pumpkin is going to start getting darker. The darker it is, the better it is. It means the caramelization from the sugar, natural sugars are coming out, and it's going to be more flavorful to that effect. So we want that to be a little bit darker. Don't worry if it gets too dark, because you can always add cream to it and make it lighter if you want to. Softens the flavors if you add a little cream to it. I chose to leave it like that just because I can introduce it to new dishes and new flavors to it. So after you finish cooking it and reducing the water and getting all this flavors caramelized to the pumpkin butter, you want to shut it off and cool it down. You can leave it at room temperature, it will be fine. And then what you end up with is this beautiful pumpkin butter at room temperature. The reason that we're keeping it at room temperature right now is because we're gonna make our next dish, which is our pumpkin dip. We're gonna add more pack of more flavors. We're gonna have some cream cheese, we're gonna have some bacon, some scallions, a little bit more pecans to give you a great texture around the whole thing. You get the saltiness from the bacon, you're gonna get that savory from the green onions, the cream cheese with that nice, lovely cream cheese. So what we wanna do first is we wanna take our cream cheese and put it in a bowl. And a different way to making it, instead of using a whisk, I'm gonna use a spoon, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the cream cheese and I'm gonna push it against the walls of the bowls so I start softening a little bit more. The cream cheese already been softened by leaving it at room temperature for like an hour just to get nice and soft. It makes it easier for you. So when you're mixing it together, you don't get any cream cheese into it. We are gonna take a little bit of our pumpkin butter. We're gonna incorporate it into our cream cheese. We're gonna smooth it out as much as you can so you don't have any cream cheese lumps in it. The more you push it against the wall of the bowl, the more the cream cheese will blend with the pumpkin butter. So it's beautiful, beautiful pumpkin butter. It smells delicious. You wanna keep mixing it. And therefore, you're gonna get a result of just this nice, beautiful textured mixture to it. Now, to add it up to it, we're gonna grab some of the bacon, add some of your bacon to it, as much as you want or as less as you want. You can take the bacon out of it if you want. You don't have to add it to it. All right, and then we're gonna take our green onions and add it to it since we're gonna mix it all together. So we have this beautiful dip that's nicely incorporated everything together. Therefore, you have a nice, colorful, full dish. All the ingredients together now, and I'm going to show you a quick way to plate it up, simple and easy. We grab our cream cheese and butter, pumpkin butter mixture. We're going to put it down in our bowl. We're going to take a little bit of the bacon that we have left over and use it as a garnish. And you have a quick, simple way of plating that up. And to make it more elegant, we're going to put it with our little raisin toast, and you have the whole dish nice and combined right there. And I really can't help myself. I really need to try it. The taste smells good. And it's perfect. Continuing with our pumpkin butter theme, I'm going to make a pumpkin carrot. We're going to caramelize the carrots. We're going to add some seasonings to it, a little bit of ginger, a little bit of cinnamon, brown sugar, a little salt, and we're going to saute all together. So what we're going to start with is we're going to start with the butter. Add a little butter to your pan. Let that melt. We are going to take our brown sugar. We're going to add the brown sugar to the pan too. But let that brown sugar start caramelizing. A little bit of cinnamon. A little bit of the ginger. We're going to saute that. Let that sugar melt with this butter. Get a nice caramelization going. You can smell that cinnamon, that ginger combining. Now we're gonna add our carrots. Let this carrot soak up all that nice glaze. And now we're gonna add our beautiful pumpkin butter that we have been cooking with. We're gonna glaze those carrots with that pumpkin butter and that cinnamon and that butter and brown sugar. It should look like this. You can always add more. You can add more ingredients if you want. You can add bacon, you can add extra seasonings. It's completely up to you. You should create juices to make this your own dish. You don't have to make it my way. You can make it your way. One thing that I like to do is take it and put it in the oven. So I'm going to put it right in the oven so we can get something going too. While that's cooking, those carrots are going to get tender. The caramelizations from the carrot juices are going to come out. All those ingredients are going to combine together and that give you that exciting flavor that you're looking for in a dish that everybody's enjoying. Now that the glazed carrots are finished and you got that nice caramelization and color going right now, let's make it even beautiful. We're going to take a little bit of the scallions that we already had. We're going to add it to the top, make it nice and pretty, give it a nice color. You know what? Let's add extra flavor. Why don't you just take a little bit of the pecans and just throw them right on top. And you end up with something this beautiful. Continuing with our last dish with our beautiful pumpkin butter, we're going to finish it up with a pumpkin delight. It's a light, fluffy dessert that I came up with. A little bit of whipped cream, a little bit of pumpkin butter. We're going to add some spices. We're going to add a little salt. The key to this one is salt. Just a little salt to give you a little extra saltiness to it with the pecans, the graham crackers, the pumpkin butter, and a little bit of the whipped cream that we're going to make by hand fresh. So for our first step, we're going to take our whipped cream, we're going to add it to our bowl, heavy cream. We're going to start whisking it. It's going to start getting some air into it, get nice and fluffy. The key to making whipped cream is all of the rest. Now that our whipped cream is coming together, we're going to add some of the sugar. We're going to incorporate the sugar into it, and we have a nice, fresh whipped cream that we can work with. We're going to take some of the whipped cream out of the bowl and place it in a separate bowl for when we layer our pumpkin delight. So you get some nice layers to it, different colors. We're going to take some of that pumpkin butter, beautiful pumpkin butter that we've been working with all day. Get it nice and blend. You can get this nice pumpkin mousse going, fresh mousse. Everybody likes mousse. Now what we're going to do, we're going to start layering it up. I'm going to use a glass. Start off with a little bit of whipped cream on the bottom. We're going to take some of the pumpkin mousse. We're going to take some of our graham crackers. Add it to your layers. A little bit of your pecans. Come back to the whipped cream. And then finish it up with a little bit more pumpkin mousse. Finish it off with a little bit of more graham cracker, a couple pecans, and just a touch of sea salt. Just a kiss of sea salt, so it gives you a little extra flavor, and top it off with a mint. have this beautiful layer delight of pumpkin. This pumpkin butter dish will be coming to your community in October. Hope you enjoy.